Well, I don't have a crystal ball, obviously, but there's always an inciting incident that tips things, right? I think it was Hemingway who said everything happens very slowly, and then suddenly, right? So I went to Congress 15 years ago to talk about the need for some kind of national effort to reinvigorate the skilled trades because you don't need a crystal ball to look at the math, right? For every 5 tradespeople who retire, 2 replace them. It's been that way for about 12 years now. So the math has not been on our side with regard to maintaining a balanced workforce. Neither of the stigmas and the stereotypes and all the misperceptions and myths that surround the skilled trades. You know, we've talked about the unintended consequences of taking high school or taking shop class out of high school. That had a huge impact on the way we think about work. Anyway, while we slept, our workforce got wildly out of balance. And it was pretty obvious to people who live and breathe in that space, as I do, but it didn't get obvious until a year or so ago when we crunched the numbers and realized that the data centers that we absolutely positively are going to build are going to require way more electricians, way more plumbers, way more steam fitters and pipe fitters and CNC operators than we have. Never mind the shipbuilders and the submarine makers. Since I talked to you last, I can tell you that 20 CEOs of the most consequential companies in our country have called me to talk about ways to reinvigorate the skilled trades within their own organizations and close the skills gap. The Pentagon is on board. Everybody is at the table for this conversation, and you're right, AI is at the center of it.
Tell people what that you have a new viral clip, and it's not about your sartorial prowess this time, or just how your basso profundo voice. It's you explaining what Meta is offering people right now if they will just, deign to come in and learn how to be an electrician.
Well, Meta is just one of a dozen companies who have just decided if they don't get in front of this, they're going to get run over by it. They announced something called America's Workforce Academy. It's a 5-week pre-apprenticeship program. It's free. In fact, they pay you to do it. So you get all your certifications to enter virtually any skilled trade over a 5-week period. And at the end of that 5-week period, they guarantee you a job. Guaranteed. So by and large, we're talking about, ironically, AI-proof 6-figure jobs, building the architecture and the infrastructure that the new economy needs. And look, don't take my word for it. I'm talking the Vice President, Secretary Bessent, Larry Fink, who runs BlackRock. They all told me the same thing. We're looking at a $10 trillion infrastructure build-out over the next 8 years. Believe it or not, we have the money. The political will is getting a little wobbly because there's a PR campaign going on right now. There's a war of public opinion that we should talk about as well. But the bottom line is the pinch point, the linchpin, is skilled labor.
Right.
We don't have it.
Right.
We don't have it.
But there's opportunity. And it's an interesting juxtaposition, right? Because what we were talking about earlier is that AI is going to take. AI is going to replace. But there is a real opportunity here, at least in the infrastructure stage, that AI cannot equip itself for. And at the end of the day, it's all electricity-based, right?
I mean, this is a question I'd love to hear Mike talk about. I covered that exclusively, the Meta example, and Google has been doing it. All of these tech companies are putting what's going to amount to $1 trillion into their AI ambitions over the course of this year, which to me sounds a lot like an AI bubble because I was a Wall Street reporter before I came to the AI beat. And one of the things I hear about when I talk to some of these construction workers and skilled tradesmen is that they are being told that these jobs are not permanent, that they're going to go work and build these data centers, and we're already seeing evidence of that money for these data centers drying up. Don't check your 401k, by the way. The market's been down the last few days because investors are worried about the amount of money being poured into these very data centers. Somebody's going to take the punch bowl out at some point, and what happens to these workers then? Not to get pessimistic again, because I know you promised we were moving past that. But
well, look, you got to balance it. You got to balance the plus minus. I mean, that's life, and that's certainly going to be any type of change. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.